Marvel Rivals stats lie. The stats lie. So I'm not saying what you're saying here is not accurate. It's just it is not the whole picture, and it, it's so shocking when I find out later the amount of people who still don't understand this, almost going into, because we're headed towards year two of Rivals, right? Into the year two of Rivals, and people do not still understand that the stat sheet doesn't tell you the entire truth. This thing here, MVP, when it's ace, I don't know how. Let me just try and explain this. And let me drink some water first. I gotta hydrate. Let me lock in with me here for a second. Mm. Okay, so let's talk about the Marvel Rival stats. The Marvel Rival stats, the stat sheet itself, it doesn't tell the whole truth. Sometimes it lies. Okay, so this stat sheet just shows you, okay, how the game went per how long you went, so per how long the game duration, how many eliminations you had, how many deaths you had, how many what's it called, final hits, assists, heals, damage, block, damage dealt, whatever, right? Even down to the accuracy. This accuracy itself is not even accurate. Why? Let's say I never miss a shot, I rarely miss my shot, my accuracy will be high. But if you're somebody like me specifically, who I don't necessarily aim when I'm on strategist, I hold down my primary and I move. So when I'm moving, because I hold down my primary, I'm hitting like walls, the floor, inanimate objects, which then reduces my accuracy, because when I lock in and don't do that, I know how high my accuracy is. I've done that to check multiple times and I've seen it. So if you want a number, 75%. That's my highest so far. On a strategy that was not Cloak and Dagger, on Luna, on Invis. So what am I trying to say about the stats, right? So the Rivals community is really weird and toxic and egocentric and downright sometimes stupid. I'm just not trying to insult them. It's just sometimes stupid. And a huge part of the community always come to these stats at the end of the day, end of their game, be it a good game or a bad game. Everybody checks their stats to see how they performed or how their teammate performed or whatever, right? So let's begin with the MVP. The MVP ace system, I feel, should be taken out of the game while the game is going on. So, because people use ace as an excuse even when they're playing bad. Sometimes you can be playing wrong, in the wrong positions, in the wrong places, standing in the wrong corners, taking the wrong fight, dying the wrong deaths. Yes, you can die wrong deaths. Dying the wrong deaths or killing the wrong people, funnily enough, you can actually also kill the wrong people. Or that's when it comes to target priority or target selection, right? Those things don't show up in the stats. It doesn't show when, let's say my Penny, right? Let's say my Penny, because how I play Penny. So on Penny, I'm just not going to talk about my Penny. I'm going to talk about me playing Penny. So when I'm on Penny, right? On Penny, her whole thing is aerial denial, right? She's going to hold down chokes. I cannot find Penny, right? Every time I'm looking for a hero, I spend 20 years looking for her. Okay. So Penny, right? When I play Penny, I know that she has her nest for error denial. I like to set traps. I like to set chokes. I bunker down. I don't go out of my way to go to flank on Penny. I don't do that. I'm more of like a bunkerer. I let them come to me. I set traps and they die. Unless I have to maybe go place the trap somewhere and then I move. So when I play Penny, let's say I don't have a strat ult, right? And the enemy is ulting to try and take point. Usually on either on convergence, because I like to play Penny on convergence on the Tokyo 2099 map. When you're on defense, that first hold, she is immaculate if you know how to use her, right? Let's say they're pushing up that choke and I have my ult ready as Penny. If I'm down the tank, I'm going to ult. I will always ult to stall and use her to run around to deny for aerial denial to end. So my goal on her is to shut down the push. My ult works as aerial denial. It's like zoning, basically. I'm zoning off the converging whatever the points, basically, so that they cannot advance forward. That's what I usually do. It's like a tactic of mine. It's like my go-to, right? That never shows up on the stats, because the stat wouldn't say, oh, when the enemy was pushing in, they were about to capture the point, Penny ulted, and after ulting, it equals to enemy retreating because they couldn't walk in ABC or do whatever, whatever. That doesn't happen. That doesn't show up. Let's say you're on Angela and the enemy team is trying to teleport, right? They're on Strange, they're about to teleport, and you are playing Angela, right? And you can just, you can just go and you dash into the Strange and you prevent the teleport. They don't come back in time. You win, you get it. Let's say for domination, for instance, you get it, right? That doesn't show up on the stats. All the things I just mentioned, by the way, there's a word for it: value. Value. That's the point I was getting to. The stats don't show the value, and value is so important in the game if you want to win. And Rivals community doesn't understand this. This is a huge chunk of the community doesn't understand this. We pull out the stats. We feel like, okay, we're a certain rank now, so the ego comes with it. And listen, sometimes it's okay to have ego. Sometimes it's good to glaze yourself and be like, damn, I'm so good at the game, or I'm cooking today. Like, you can feel like, because I've had this, I'm like, oh my goodness, I am on fire. Whatever role I pick, I'm a flex player. Whatever role I pick, I'm on top. I'm performing, I'm overperforming. There are days when I'm like, okay, DPS isn't working for me today, or tank isn't working for me today, or the one that happens the most sometimes is strategist is not working for me today. I need to be in the front. And that comes to how I see how I'm playing that role. If I notice I'm not having value, I begin to think, okay, what can I do differently? What can I change? What can I fix? How do I adjust, right? I don't start looking, okay, which of my teammates is going negative, so I can point them out and blame them. Because that's right, the default setting of the Rivals community. And it makes the game tilting. It makes it very unfun to play. It makes the game feel like a chore. And that is not what that's not what gaming should be, and that's not what gaming should feel like. So when it comes to reading the stats, I feel this contributes to it. The stat sheets contributes to it. Unfortunately, it's supposed to be information, right? It's supposed to be information. It's supposed to be, okay, this is just like an overview of what the what happened in the game you just played. Like an overview for you to watch what happened, or just to get a bit of information of how you played. It doesn't show the little things. It doesn't show a peel that your DPS or your tank does. It doesn't show an invis push, or a lunar freeze, or a cloak and dagger fade, or a soul bond that came in clutch, or the looking lamp. It doesn't show any of this resource based value, or resource founded value, or however you want to put that. Right? The stat sheet doesn't show that, and I feel this actually. It impacts how we as a community, as we as players look at it. So if you want to look at the stat sheet for what I think is very important, so I'm going to go by role here. For Vanguards, you should look at how much you died, and that's about it. And you know who else that stat goes with as well? The death, minimum amount of deaths, who also applies to strategist. Yeah. Your backline strategist. That's like, I think the most important stat you should be looking at. It's not even the amount of healings you did. I mean, you can go for that, or amount of damage blocked. I mean, yeah, sure, but the amount of time you died, also goes for DPS too. Oh wow, all three roles. That's the most important stat. Yes, how many times you died first. But for DPS, another thing goes with it. Your final hits. Final hits, how many times how many times were you able to clean up on the damage that was dealt, or the damage that you dealt? Because at the end of the day, right, when you're looking at heals, when people pull up their stat sheet sometimes and they see that your strategists have like the lower heals compared to the enemy. Let's look at this stat sheet in front of me. So these supports have less heals than my team does, right? Sometimes it'll be like, oh, they barely healed their team. That wasn't what was happening. They had a shit ton of damage. This guy, I think was this guy as well, Groot and Phoenix, they just was so much damage that my team, we were able to get as many heals as we could. That's one. And two, why do we have more heals? Look at the deaths on my strategists, on us, and compared to theirs. We lived the longest, so we will get more healing output, right? Let's say you win a game, but your strategist has lower heals on the enemy as well. That's also a different stat. It could be that you guys just played better and you took less damage, so your strategies didn't have to heal as much, or that the enemy didn't output as much damage. That's why they had more healing than you did. You see how it's like a variable. It's not very. There's no one size fit all when it comes to like healing. But then when you look at deaths, that's what matters the most. How many times were you absent from fights? Because every death you have means you're absent from a fight. It means you're no longer impactful in that moment. Every death is you not being able to impact or change the course of the fight, or how or do anything, you know? And you want to reduce that. So again, as I always say to Rivals community and to the players, and please be better. When looking at the stat sheet, it doesn't tell you everything. Maybe you have a Bucky going 2-6. It's possible that your Bucky isn't able to get any kills because your tanks are not creating enough space for him to do that. It's very possible. Instead of blaming, sometimes it's good to just accept that some games are so lost that you go back and VOD review and see what actually happened. I've had games that I lost and I thought, damn, it was this guy's fault that we lost the game. I didn't say it out loud, but I would think it to myself. I'm like, I think it was that guy. But I'm like, how come this guy couldn't have any value? Like, why was this guy, why did my Punisher not do anything? What happened? Why did he die so many times? And I go and see that maybe this guy was just trying, but my tanks were too terrified to move forward. So my Punisher cannot move forward and get any kills. When you have scaredy cat tanks, your DPS also suffers, right? And so yeah, it doesn't always work out. Exactly, it doesn't always work out. The community gets very, very, I don't know, very, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? We're a community of pitchfork wielders, like witch hunters or whatever, in the olden days when you take out your pitchfork and you're going to go, because we're trying to sniff out the reason why we lost the game. And that's where the stat sheet comes in. We're just trying to figure out, who are we going to blame? Who is the reason why we're not? No, you don't know the entire story, which is why a VOD review is very important. I feel like when you if you VOD review more, and if you want to VOD review games, in my opinion, if you want to get better, VOD review the games you lost, not the games you won. I mean, yeah, you can VOD review a game you won. You want to see what happened. You want to see, okay, how good you played. That's fine. But if you really want to improve, you learn from your losses. I have gotten better by playing against better people. I get better every time I play against somebody better. I've played against a Gambit. I will never forget this Gambit. This Gambit, I played against him. It was on the null map. This is like a while back. I don't know if I was even live. This Gambit will ult, and I would hear the ult. I'm already backing up, right? But this Gambit, this dumb, stupid Gambit, he was standing next to me already with his 4 cards ready to anti-heal me and kill me. I was in the back line. Every time I was like, how in the world? We lost that game, but I was more interested in that Gambit. What did I do? I went to go check this guy's position, and it was absolutely immaculate. I cannot remember his name or her name or their username. But I looked at how they were playing before they will ult. They're already walking forward. They are ulting their team, telling the team, you know what, come behind me, let's go, And it was very nice to see like a very proactive like strategist, like somebody who wants to just like get in the fray and fight. So what I'm saying is, if you want to get better, VOD review your losses. If you think that if you think that this stat sheet shows everything, is the end all be all and is the reason why, no. Sometimes you can have the most kills in the game and you still lose because you didn't pick out the right targets. The stat sheet doesn't show you that either. If you let's say you got two finals in a fight and both were DPS players. I hate to say to the DPS players, I know this is gonna hurt some of you to hear this, but y'all are expendable. I say that because when you die, it's like, okay, yeah, we lost the DPS, which is kind of funny because you guys have the most impact in the game. Right, because you need to get the kills. You like DPS are the ones with like the quote unquote carry potential, right? But when you die, you're like, oh yeah, well, we only lost the DPS. Phew, we still have 2 tanks. Phew, we still have two strategists, right? When you lose a strategist, damn, we're down the strat. Oh my god, panic sets in. We need to fall back. We lost a tank. Damn, we lost a tank. Oh my god, panic. Do you see it? Panic sets in? I mean, yes, when you lose a DPS, you do need to fall back, but it's not as urgent as when you lose a tank or a support. So yeah, I hope this was clear enough. This is all I gotta say about the stats. And hey, if I miss anything about the stats or I miss something important, do tell me. And if you think I'm wrong about this, hey, tell me in the comment. Let me hear. Let's argue about it, because like I don't want to hear, or I'm tired of seeing people showing stats and be like, look at the stats and look at what happened, and nobody. I cannot tell. Send me the VOD. Let me see with my two eyes. Like let me see the ins and ins of the game. Like if you really had, if you want to tell me you lost your game because your DPS had one final hit, I've had that game. I've had those that game. I've had those games actually with DPS with two finals, one final, three finals, and I'm like, and they have like 30k damage. Where did that damage go? Because it clearly did not kill anything. Like you didn't kill anybody. So why? I'm getting heated. I said I was gonna keep it calm and cool, but this game sometimes, when I think about the community and some people I've run into, I just I get triggered. I keep getting triggered. It's like I replay it in my head and I just boom, trigger. I digress. If you get a DPS that has 2-3 finals, you go and check and you see that the reason why they had 2-3 finals wasn't because they were taking off angle, was because all they had to do was pump damage into tank. Again, DPS players. I know I feel like I'm targeting you guys. This is not to target you. I'm talking to the DPS players who value how much damage you've done. Like you'd run to this stat sheet like a report card, You wanna, you know what? This is, funnily enough, I wasn't even looking at the stats I was talking about, right? Let's look at my Punisher in this Spidey, for instance. Look at the damage output. Look at the finals. Do you see the difference? Look, yeah, Spidey doesn't output a lot of damage. I know that because he's a dive. That's the whole thing about that. They don't output a lot of damage. They're like assassins, right? That's the whole shtick. And Punisher on the other one is like a heavy artillery guy. I know. But you see the difference in damage? Which of these two do you think shot the tanks more? Obviously Punisher. It was as if this stats was just here. I mean, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say by using this example. So if you're a DPS player and you're like, oh, you pull up your stats, you're like, this is the reason why I'm not ranking up, and I always end the game with so much damage. Who are you damaging? Are you damaging the other squishies? Are you damaging their other DPS? When you damage the other DPS, are you killing them? Are you cleaning up on those kills, or do you damage them and leave them on 1 HP and then they escape and go get healed, and then their strategists are getting their ults charged, and you are charging your ultimate as well, hoping for, and then all your kills that you get happens to be from your ultimate and not from your neutral game. Because if you want to find where DPS excels or should excel is during neutral. Why? Because that's where you apply pressure. That's where you're helping your tanks. Stats does not show that either. Are we understanding what I'm saying now? Y'all see? So if rivals, I think what would help the community be a little less annoying is to remove the MVP, like the ace system, while the game is active. Take it out. Take it out completely. There will be no ace. At the end of the game, when the game is concluded, when it's ended, then you can show the MVP. So make it like, yeah, the MVP is there, but it's invisible while the game is going on. Because I have had a Luna Snow who got MVP, but she wasn't healing. She wasn't playing strategist. She was a nuisance to the team. And I asked myself that day, I was like, how is that person ace? There's 5 people trying to play the game, and this person is just doing whatever they want. They're just damaging, stealing finals or whatever. But even then, they're not even doing it in the right way. Because yeah, you can play DPS Luna. Sure, you can play DPS Luna. You can do that if you want. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But then when the stat then gets you might have seen, y'all might have seen this. Like I've seen in so many games where you have this one player who has ace, and they're telling you, I'm the ace. I'm ace. Don't talk to me. I'm ace. Don't tell me anything. I'm ace. And they're not even playing the game. Like, and the ace just the ace, the ego gets inflated again. Like it's like I'm the best of the best right now. I'm the best in my team. Y'all gotta listen to. No, no, no. The ranks are also inflated. So like that, the rank inflation is for another video. It's not for this one. But anyways, guys, this is all I wanted to say. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Remember, the stats don't say it all. The stats just it shows you at best just some of the information, not all of the information. So don't rely too much on it when it comes to looking at how your team, how your game, like your team impacted the game, or how your team created value. If anybody should be dying the most, funnily enough, it's your DPS, because they're the one who are actively seeking duels. They're actively seeking fights, trying to close out fights, get the finals. And strategists, just because your DPS are, you see my point? I mean, you feel free to argue, And for strategist players, just because you have tanks in front of you doesn't mean you don't heal your DPS. Yes, it's good to keep up your tank, but it's also good to keep up your DPS. It's your job as a strategist to enable your DPS. It's your job as a strategist to actually enable your team. Your job is not to make sure that nobody dies. Your job is to make sure that your teammates live long enough so they can all create value that helps you secure the win. That's literally it. That's just what a strategist is. If all you do is heal your tanks, and every now and then you heal your DPS, or you tell them, oh, go get a health pack, or I'm not going to heal you, go get a health pack in your tank, then you're not a strategist, you're a healer. If all you do is heal, or you don't actively seek for a way to like, y'all, like, if you give your DPS enough, if you give your DPS enough resources, when I say enough resources, like it could be like a heal, just one heal. You see them in a duel, like in a 1v1, and you can help them, because you're helping them to help you, unless you don't want to win. Like if you're just like, you know what, I want to lose and I don't care, then don't do that. And for the tanks, like I haven't said much about tanks for this, because this is not like a breakdown video for all the roles. But for tanks, it goes for you too. You should try and enable your DPS. Magneto or bubble could help. You put in your shield when like a dive DPS, or your DPS is returning from an engage, so they don't die, helps. Body blocking a bit of damage helps. Calling out helps. Sometimes as a tank you do not get to get that final hit. It is fine. You want your DPS to get the finals. That's your goal. You want to create the space, create the pressure, have your DPS reap from your hard work. And yes, it sounds like you don't get to be in the spotlight as a tank or as a strategist. That's fine. The spotlight is meant for the DPS. That's why it's the most popular role and the most filled role with characters to play in the game. Yeah, exactly. Somebody has to enable the DPS, and then the performance will be good, literally. And when you have a team that understands that you have to help your teammates, you have to work as a team. Oh my God, teamwork in a game of 6. When you have a team that understands that and you're playing against them, it feels different. You begin asking yourself like, why is my DPS not as active as that other DPS? Like this, or you have this Elsa who is like dashing around, shooting shots, like aiming. You feel, and if you're in the backline, you feel targeted, and you ask yourself, why are is the support in the other team? Are they feeling this as much pressure as I am? Then what do you do as strategist? It's your job to tell your DPS, hey, Bucky, hey, Namor, hey, Hela, Phoenix, whatever, Iron Fist, hey. If I'm playing Luna, I've done this multiple times. I'm like, hey, look, their DPS is making my life miserable. I am not enjoying my time in the backline here at all. And I can see the enemy strategists are on vacation. They're having massage, pedicures, They're having face mask. They're on vacation. I'll be like, please, I will tell them, I will pocket you if you target their strategist. Sometimes these DPS, they don't want to listen, because they hear anything like And there's some the ones who have the, their sense is correct. Their brain was properly calculated. Their brain was properly, arranged. They'll be like, bet, and they will do it. If this community will get better, if we want it to get better, if we are better, if we try, if we all just be like, well, I'm gonna blame this. Oh, my stats said I'm ace. Oh, I have this much damage on average every game. I give 50k damage. I'm that good at DP. No, no, you're not. But if you're open-minded, you want to play the game, you want to have fun. Do you know how fun it is to win when your teammates are all hyped? Like the games I have the best time on, it doesn't even matter whether I win or lose. It's the game where I'm talking to my team and they're like, okay, we're going to do this and that and the other. We're going to attack here. We're going to go in. You alt, you do this, you do that. We'll all do it. And if it works, we're like, heck yeah, we won. Let's effing go. Those games, the dopamine is unmeasured. Okay? It's like the camaraderie, okay? That word is so difficult for me to say. The camaraderie is so like, it's like you have brothers in arms or sisters in arms. It's like you have a team. Sometimes it's just a 10-minute game, or if it's a 15-minute game. But because everybody just wants to work together, enable each other, they don't care about what the stat sheet says. You get more value like that. You do not antagonize your team. You have fun. You do not make people who killed the game begin to regret. Because I've seen the memes now, like thinking of playing rivals, actually playing ranked. Hello? No. Rivals is not, it's not the game for that kind of community. I'm sorry, no, I refuse to accept it. So I'll do everything in my power. Oh, I just hit my mic. I'll do everything in my power. I'll try, use this platform to talk to you guys, and hopefully I reach the ones, the few of us who actually want to play the game, who actually want this game to grow. I want Rivals to be here another 10 years. Okay? I want to see how far I can go. I want to enjoy this game. I want to be able to play a dinosaur. I play a shark whenever I feel like it. I want to be able to play with my friends, my teammates. I want to be able to meet new people, make new friends, find new connections, have new moments. And all it takes for us to do that is just for one day at a time, because nobody says change it at once. It's not possible. Rome wasn't built in a day. But one day at a time, try to be better. For those of us who make these stat sheets, all the Sherlock Holmes, all the stats, the stat sheet Stanleys, all the all the people who do the stat sheet, and every 5 seconds already hit tab to tell you who should swap to whatever. Cut it out. Seriously, cut it out. Do not make this game unfun. Do not make this game feel like League of Legends. I'm saying this, I'm saying it again. Please, do not make this game the next League of Legends. Marvel Rivals as a game deserves a much better community. The devs are listening. They are trying their hardest. Yeah, not everything is perfect. No, you cannot make everybody happy. We know about the issues this game has. We're not talking about those right now. All I'm saying is one of the biggest issues, the biggest problems, the biggest eyesore that this game has is the community. The community. And this thing here in front of me plays a role in it, unfortunately. It's supposed to be just information for us, but people use this as ammo to even be toxic. And again, another thing I want to say just before I end the video, probably never going to end it because I be yapping, but sometimes people also underperform when they're not in a good mood, or maybe they're not locked in, or maybe something is going on. I myself, because yes, I know I have flamed people. I have told people, hey, here's the logical thing to do, and they've not listened. And I'm like, see, you're going 1-9. But I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, even though I'm not being actively toxic and I'm just telling them, please just, you're getting countered, try something else. Maybe that person just had a rough day and they just want to be Peter Parker. Maybe. Sometimes it's good to just leave these people alone. Sometimes it's just leave them alone. Yeah, accept it. If they're going to throw your game, there's no point in losing your mind over it. I am saying this as somebody who loses her mind all the time. I'd be crashing out. Maybe this is me getting an epiphany. Maybe I'm ascending or whatever. You guys are watching me ascend in real time. But yeah, let's all try to be better one day at a time. Remember, the stats don't say it all. It doesn't give you all the picture, it only gives you some of it. Okay? Don't use this as ammo, as ammunition to attack your teammates. Don't be all it's this the stats said ABC, therefore MVP means nothing. MVP means nothing. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it's a nice thing to see. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, but down to the at the end of the day, it means nothing. What means anything is the amount of value you contributed to the game. That's it. Case in point. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see more content like this, do leave a like and subscribe. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Okay.